Looks nice. We got us a nice planter wall, retaining wall built around our sign, so that now we can plant a future sign that's bigger. So, and that's what I knew that somehow this wall was going to come into this message this morning. So for all the theologians, I might not even read no scripture today, so if that's going to upset you, I'm sorry. Even though there's plenty of scriptures, we all know them. But we was working on this wall yesterday, and all I could think was, and I kept telling everybody, this thing is going to be beautiful. Like, this is going to be nice. So me and Brother Kevin was laying it out, and we had our can you do me a favor?
Yes, sir.
In the back of my truck, there's a string line.
Yes, sir.
Can you grab that for me?
Yes, sir.
Actually, it's not in my truck. Never mind. My truck is not here. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
I'm playing this thing right here. So we was laying out all the measurements, and we started by finding the center of our sign. So me and him pulling, find the center, and then from that center we worked out. So found the center of our sign, decided how big we wanted our wall to be. Brother Kevin said, well, I was like, what about 4 foot, or maybe we should come out 5 foot, I don't know. He said, just let's make it 5 foot. 5 foot, so extra foot we had. And we got everything centered. And then we extended from our center lines, we brought everything out and we made our circle. And that took about an hour and a half just to get prepared in order to even start. We didn't even lay the first block yet. Now we got here around 8, so we ain't even laid the first block yet, and we're here an hour and a half. Lunchtime is approaching. And everybody knows at lunchtime, we're going to eat at lunch. So we're an hour and a half in, maybe 2 hours, before we even laid the first block. And there's a lot of preparation in laying your first row, because your first row needs to be on solid soil.
Yes.
It's got to be on something that's firm. It's got to be on something that's hard, that's something that's going to support the weight of this wall that you're going to build. And so we're digging, hands and knees. We had plenty of tools. We had all these tools. And you just pick your poison. You just go out there and you just pick what you need, and we have to build this wall with these tools. So me and him's digging, and we're measuring, and we're getting everything level. And we laid the first brick. And I said, here we go. We began to build a wall. So we laid that first brick. Then we dug some more, and we leveled, and we dug, and we leveled, and we put back, and we leveled some more. Then we laid our second brick. And all I kept thinking is, this wall is going to be beautiful. When we get done with it, it's going to be awesome. This is going to be great. I kept saying that over and over. So by lunchtime, I don't even think we was halfway. By lunchtime, we're sitting here. I mean, it's getting tough now. We're going down and we're measuring, and we got to step down here our wall, and it's got to be level with this side, and we're trying to make all this work out. And it's past lunch. Half our day is gone. But this is going to be a beautiful wall. No matter how hard it is, I said, this is the hard part. When we get past this part, it's going to be easy. So lunchtime came, we got pizza, the fuel, real fuel. We get all fueled up, we go back out there, we start some more. And we keep working and we keep working. And about halfway through after lunch, the guys started stacking the block up behind us because we had our foundation. And they were moving a whole lot faster than we were moving. I mean, that wall was just stacking up. And me and Brother Kevin's sitting over there in the dirt and we're digging. And we're putting one brick at a time and these guys are just stacking. Oh man, this is nice. I'm looking and we got a wall coming behind us. Me and Brother Kevin's in the dirt. I was using my hands because that's the easiest tool I had. And we're working around. I looked back and we got off. Our bricks were supposed to be staggered and they started lining up with each other. So then we had to stop everything we was doing and back up. Start taking the wall down to where we could get to a point where we had to improvise and start cutting bricks in order to get our stagger back right. But see, the thing was, we was off at the bottom. We was off close to the foundation. And because we was off on our stagger close to the foundation, we had to cut a brick which added an additional stagger. So now the whole way up, we have to fit and cut bricks in order to make it work back out and get back on track again. How long did we lose there? An hour? Hour and a half? We lost an hour and a half there. Now the day is really getting short. Now I heard somebody say, all of a sudden, and this is up to nobody, but I could hear the doubts in people's voices. Well, the sun's coming. We're fighting the sun now. The sun's going to go down. Are we going to finish this today? Or is this going to get done today? Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This wall is getting finished today. And so we had to back up and we got back on track again. Now, knowing that we messed up before, we was able to keep that stagger. And if we started to get off a little bit, we fixed it quickly. So we kept going around and around and around. And nobody there has any real knowledge of how to build retaining walls. Just saying. So we were almost done. We were finishing out the last brick. And Brother Dale, I seen him standing off to the side, not talking to anybody, just standing over there. And I'm like, I didn't say it. It didn't dawn on me that he was what he was doing, but he came to me and he said, hey, come here for a second. And he said, step back here and look at this wall. He's like, I've stood here for 5 minutes staring at it. Mate, just check it. Just making sure I was right. He said, but look at this wall and tell me if this is right. So I was looking at the wall, and when I stepped back, I could actually see the problem. Somebody else had to bring it to my attention, an outsider who was stepped back. See, sometimes in your life you can be so close to the trees that you can't see the forest. And so maybe sometimes it takes somebody from the outside looking in to address a problem that they see that you can't see because you're all up in it.
Amen.
And so I stepped back and I looked and I just started laughing. I just started laughing. Now we have busted our butt on this wall all day long.
All day.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you, 5 years ago I wouldn't have been laughing.
Heard that.
But it was hilarious to me. And it took me a while to figure out what happened. But what we did is, amongst our stepping up and stepping down, somewhere along the way, about halfway through, we stepped up. But when we stepped up, we stepped up into a spiral. So there was no end to this wall we was building. It would have just kept going up and up and up and up. And I looked at it, and my first thought was, and this was me. Okay, this was what was inside of me, the Adam that's in me, the pride that's in me. Is I don't care who stays, I'm going to tear this wall down and I'm going to fix it. That was my first thought. That's the first thing that went through me. Because the me wants to tear it down. It wants to say, this ain't good enough, this ain't right, this is not right, I'm going to tear it down. I don't care how long it takes, I don't care if I'm here all night long, I'm going to tear it down and I'm going to fix this wall and it's going to be right. Well, I stood there and I was laughing. I was still laughing about it. I wasn't upset, but inside of me I wanted to fix it. But then it hit me. There's something else. And then when it hit me, Brother Dale said, he's like, we can do something here. We can make it work. There's a solution that's going to be a creative solution that's going to make this work and make it look good and look like it should. And so I can't remember who said it, but they said, it was you, said, we're going to wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning and somebody's going to get it and I'm going to call you. And I said, nope, not me, you're not going to call me because I'm going to be asleep. And I said, I hope God don't wake me up at 2 o'clock in the morning thinking about this here rock wall, unless I'm dreaming, and then that's fine. Well, last night, I don't know if it was 2 o'clock, but I was thinking about that wall.
What did I tell you? Don't say that.
I shouldn't have said that. But I was thinking about that wall, and I've been thinking about that wall ever since. And see, I was thinking about all the steps that we did, and whenever you have a problem, you got to think about where the problem started.
Yes.
And then, even though it's a problem and it caused a negative effect on the life that you're building, you still need to think back about where the problem started. Because in building something, I'm a builder. I'm going to run into that problem again. And then I could say, yeah, I can fix it. We'll figure out a way to fix it. But that's not good enough unless I go back and look and see where the problem started. Because next time I'm going to do it again. See, God has given us something inside of us. And the thing that He's given us is actually everything that He is.
Yes.
And everything that He is His, the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end. He is the I am. And because He is the I am, because I am a creator. He is the creator. And if we're in His image, then we're creators. And because we're creators, we're always creating. And we're creating problems, but we're creating solutions all the time. Because we are creators, because we're made in His image. And so, yesterday, in ways we created a problem. In many ways. We created a problem because this wall never ends. But I got to thinking about that. That wall is not supposed to end. Because we're not done building. See, whenever there's an end to something, it means you're finished. Well, we're not finished out there. By no means are we finished. So to have a stopping point and to say, well, that's done, we're done with that. Now all of a sudden we have no ambition to go back out there and do anything else. See, in our life, the problems that we create, they're there for a reason. They're there because we need to be working on something all the time. We constantly need to be growing. We need to be doing something. And these problems that we have, we need to figure out where they started and then go back and not necessarily fix them. But see, God took the broken and made it beautiful. And if He took broken and made it beautiful, because in my mind, in my contractor's mind, that wall is broken. It's just broke. Like, it needs to be fixed. But see, if He took broken and made it beautiful, He didn't tear down all the broken. He made something out of what was broken and made it beautiful. I was broken. By all world standards. By every way you could possibly think of. When people saw me, they saw something that was broken that could not be fixed. In my mind, I was broken.
Yeah.
I was a drug addict. I was broken. I had a disease, is what I was told. A disease can't be fixed. A disease is something you have to live with. You have to battle. But that's what I was told. But see, God took that dis-ease, the dis-ease in my life, and turned it into something. And not only did He turn it into something, He turned it into something that produced rather than tore down, rather than took away. I want to say that we're all building a wall in our lives. Everybody in here is building something. We're building not a wall, but we're building a life that's either full of strife and full of brokenness, or it's a life that was once broken and is now beautiful. This is a beautiful life, by the way. It is a beautiful life.
Go ahead.
And I've said it many times. This is not a cocky or arrogant statement. This is just the truth. If you're not experiencing this beautiful life, then you've got to change. You've got to do something different, because this life is beautiful, and it's been made beautiful because you're in it, because you're a part of it. And until you realize that it's beautiful because I was placed here, and it's beautiful because I have a reason to be here, and I have a purpose in being here, then it's never going to be beautiful. So I was thinking about this wall all night. And I was thinking about how to fix it. How to fix this wall. How can we fix this wall? Do I have a solution still? No. I'm not saying I come up with some kind of grand scheme to fix this wall. But the thing is, I know that that wall is going to be fixed. I know that that wall is going to be added onto. It's not really going to be fixed, it's going to be added to.
Yep.
See, God wants to add to your brokenness. Add to. He come to give. Our God is a giver. So what does that make us? Givers. We're in His image, we should be givers too.
That's right.
And if you sow, then you reap. So if you sow and you give good things, then you're going to reap these good things. We could have kept spiraling that wall to no end, to no avail. Just keep going. And a lot of people do that. A lot of people just keep building. But see, in building, you're covering up. We would have covered up our whole purpose. We would have covered up our whole purpose. See, in the Bible it says there's a time and a place for everything. I believe it's in Ecclesiastes 4. But there's a time and a place for everything. There's a time to build and there's a time to tear down. All of the above. We've heard it before. But see, we're going into a new stage. As in this house. We're going into a time of making broken beautiful. I believe that. Because I'm experiencing it in my own life.
Yes, sir.
And see, in making broken beautiful, you have to add to it. So we're going into a time of being added to, of growth. And it's not time to tear down anymore. It's time to add to. That's just one step we did. And I know I'm bouncing around a lot here because what we're doing outside, I believe, is a physical, natural thing that we're doing outside is what's going on the inside. I believe we're building. Our lives, we're building. And to some of the people who have not been here, we've been talking a lot about vision. Having a vision.
Yeah.
We went out there and we had a vision.
Yep.
We had a purpose.
Yep.
Our purpose was to build that wall. No matter what. That wall was going to get built tomorrow. So we built the wall, and it wasn't 100% right, but guess what? It's because we were not done building. We're going to come back and add something to that wall that is going to complete it and make it beautiful. I've always told you about a water fountain.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
Right there where my dad parked.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
That's where the broken comes into view.
Yep.
Great idea.
And see, our lives are no different. Our lives are no different. We got out there and we worked hard. We worked in the dirt, on our knees, Brother Kevin. Hard. Now the other guy, everybody else worked hard too, don't get me wrong. I can only speak for me and him because we were right side by side all day. But see, when we started out on this process, because really what we were doing, we were changing something. Everybody's seen the bushes before. Now that was broken.
Yeah.
Okay. But we were in a process of change. Well, guess what? Whenever you decide to change and better yourself, when you start out, it's hard. It's like going to the gym. It's hard to get in the routine of going. And it's hard to get it, and you feel like you're down there and you're not doing anything. When I quit doing drugs, I didn't feel like I was doing anything, but I knew that I just had to keep going and lay one brick at a time. And we laid those bricks just as perfect as we could possibly lay a brick, just as perfect as we knew how. If you go out there right now, those bricks are 100% level, however you spin it, every one of them. That's a guarantee. Now, because we started out on a firm foundation and we started out hard, we got to reap the benefit later. Because the benefit is being able to see what you built. God said that it's for man's pleasure. What you build is for man, it's for your pleasure. Yeah, and because it's for your pleasure, it pleases God.
Yes.
So what you build, what you're building in your life, it should please you.
Yes.
But because it should please you, it's pleasing God because we're children. If my son, he's not old enough yet, but when he walks, let's use that. When he walks, he's just as happy as he can be. I watched him last night. He's got his hands up in the air and he's smiling from ear to ear, just getting there. That pleases him. But that pleases me even more than it pleases him. I just started laughing last night because he was gone. Smiling from ear to ear. But see, God is the same way. When you're moving in your life, it don't matter where you're at. He's just starting to walk. But when you start on that process of change, it's going to please you. Because you're going to see yourself building something. You're seeing yourself build a life right before your very eyes. You're seeing yourself build something that's greater than you are. It's bigger than you. It's more than you had before. It's enhancing you. It's adding to you. And when you start to do that, all of a sudden you get satisfaction. You get fulfillment out of that. I hear a lot of people talking about fulfillment. We should be fulfilled. That's why Christ came, is to fulfill us. Because when we are fulfilled, He is fulfilled.
That's right.
He came to fulfill all. From heaven to earth, He came to fulfill all. Well, in between heaven and earth, the only way that He can fulfill all is if we are fulfilled, because we're the only thing between heaven and earth.
Yes.
So when we're fulfilled, that light, the light of men that we've talked about, the light of men that illuminates Christ, that light grows. You ever see somebody that just they accomplish something and you can just see this glow about them, this excitement about them, like they just got to tell you, like, I'm so excited that I did this. Like, this is the greatest thing I've ever done. I've been there in my own life, and I'm just so excited. I'm like, I don't want to brag, but man, this is like awesome to me. I've never done this before. This is really cool. That is the light of God. That is the light. See, we have to shine with this light. We're not like that when we're depressed and when we're hurting and we have pain and we carry all this stuff away. That's not the light. That's not life. Life, and the life more abundantly, is when we can start to gather this and have those moments more often. See, we need to be seeking after those moments. We need to be seeking after things that fulfill us. And the only way we're going to get them is when we start to build something, because that wall would have never been built if we wouldn't have laid that first brick. And even before that, it would have never been built if we wouldn't have had a vision to build it. If we wouldn't have had an idea that, hey, we could take those bushes out and we could put something really nice right here. Because the whole point is to show people change. That when people drive by, that we're not the same place we used to be. We're better than we used to be.
Yes.
People are going to seek after you when they start seeing change and see that you're better than you used to be.
Amen to that.
Because now you got something to give them. When before you had nothing.
That's right.
I couldn't give anybody anything when I was a drug addict. What did I have to give? I couldn't give anybody happiness when I'm depressed. I couldn't make anybody feel good about themselves when I didn't feel good about myself. But when I changed, when I repented, when I was bought back, when I was redeemed,
Yes.
Come on.
when I was purchased back from bondage. Because there's a point. There was a point in my life whenever God said, that's my child. I don't care what it costs. He's mine. And He wrote the check. How much? That's what Christ did for us.
Go ahead.
It didn't matter what we had done. It didn't matter how deep we was gone, how much people we owed, how much debt we had in life. He said, how much? He redeemed you. Bought you back. Therefore, as long as you still have breath inside of you, as long as you still can breathe, as long as you're living and you're not dead, you can be redeemed. You can be bought back. No matter where you're at. That's what's beautiful. And when we were brought back out of slavery, we were given a life that was greater than we ever would have expected. We went straight to the kingdom, where everything is accessible. Everything you need.
Go ahead.
All the resources are around you. All the resources are around you. See, a lot of people, they don't understand this, and they're like, why can't I succeed in happiness? Why can't I succeed monetarily? Why can't I have money? And I'm poor all the way around. They don't realize that in the kingdom of God, all the resources you need are around you. I heard a man say one time that you're asking for God to give you a chair. You're asking for God to give you a chair. When God gives you the trees,
Yeah.
He met you halfway already. All you got to do is put a little work into it. Use your mind. Think higher. Think that tree could become a chair.
Go ahead.
That's the vision. That those bushes can be gone and there can be a wall there.
Go ahead.
A beautiful wall.
Yes.
See, we have to have this vision. God's given us everything. It's all the way around you. It don't matter where you're at in life, you have an opportunity.
That's right.
Well, we didn't start from the same place. Maybe not, but guess what? The same resources are around you. It's just, what are you focused on? In my life, I was so focused on all the hell that was going on around me, and I was focused on other people, and I was focused on what's going on in my life, and I can't believe I'm here, and it's my fault because I'm a drug addict, and I'm never going to change, and this is what I'm always going to be. I was so focused on that I couldn't see my opportunities for coming out. What is your focus on? What are you focused on right now? You're focused on me. Okay? So I've got your focus. But did anybody notice that Haley's got a notebook? And that Kevin don't? And that Kevin's got a black watch on? Did anybody notice they're breathing? Did anybody notice the lights humming? You do now, right?
Right.
What do you focus on? Because what you focus on is what you can have. As long as I focused on myself that I'm a drug addict, all I'm going to ever do is drugs. All I focus on is my hurt and my pain and what my mama did to me and what my daddy did to me and what my husband or my wife did to me or how this didn't happen in my life and it won't right and it set me back and how this person held me down and how, well, I don't have any money and you're missing all that stuff around you. But when you can focus forward, you can focus forward from the situation that you're currently in, then you can begin to lay those stones. Then you can begin, and it's slow at first. It's slow. It's really slow. I told them guys, I said, this is the hardest part. This is going to take the longest. We're going to be here messing with this first row. It's going to seem like forever. But when we get that first row in, it's going to go fast. But see, we won't focus on our backs hurt. We won't focus on when my knees hurt and it's raining. It was raining. And I didn't hear anybody say one word about it because that wasn't the focus. I didn't hear anybody say one word about, man, it's raining. I think we should go inside. Because that wasn't the focus. The focus was building a wall. So we continued one brick at a time. One brick at a time. Dig a little, put back a little, level a little, one brick at a time. And sometimes we got into a spot that was hard and it had roots. But we couldn't stop there. Because we've already started. See, once you start,
That's right.
once you finally start, now all of a sudden you can't stop.
Yeah.
The problem is we never start.
Oh,
We never started in the first place, so it's very easy to stop. It's very easy to say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym, but I'm going to do it next month. Because you never started. You didn't go up there and pay that membership. But when you got money coming out, all of a sudden, you're going to be more apt to go, if that's your goal. But see, we got to start. And all starting is getting the tools that God gave you. Because there's tools all around you. The things that you went through in your past are tools. When you stop looking at them as setbacks and start looking at them as tools, all of a sudden you can go somewhere and you can use those tools and bring them and gather them and lay them out and see what you got to work with and start building with those tools. Because there were certain tools that we didn't have that we should have had. But it didn't matter. We had what we had and we used what we had and we got the job done. I wouldn't be able to stand here and talk to anybody if I wouldn't have been a drug addict. You ever think about that? There's no way. I wouldn't have cared to have any part of this if I didn't have that compassion that come out of all my brokenness.
Go ahead.
Yes.
If I didn't want to see somebody else go farther and come out of their brokenness because I was there. I was broken.
Yes.
See, it's a tool. It's not a problem. It's not a hindrance. It's not a weight that you carry. It's a tool that you carry. You're carrying a tool. Everything works for the good of those that serve the Lord. Everything. Is God a liar? No. So what you've been through is going to work for your good. If you look at it and if you focus on what it can be used for instead of what it did to you. Anybody hear the light still? Anybody see Caitlin's says she's wearing pink, but she's not. What's your focus on? See, sometimes we let other people determine our focus. We focus on other people, so therefore we focus on what they focus on. And then they're doing the same thing, so you're just focusing where?
On that picture.
You're focusing anywhere. Because it's confusion.
Yeah.
Focus on other people. They're doing the same thing. Now your focus is gone. God has a plan and a future for every one of us. what the Bible says. For every one of us. There was no, it didn't say if you're white or if you're black or if you're Hispanic or if you're short or if you're tall or if you weigh this much or if you weigh this much or if you went through hell or if you didn't. He has a plan and a future for you because you're here.
Yeah.
Because we figured you had a 400, what was it? Trillionth of a chance of even being born. That don't sound like a chance to me. It wasn't a chance. You're here for a reason. And your reason is to be fulfilled. Your reason is to build something that's greater than you. Because you came here with nothing.
That's right.
You came here with nothing. We all had the same start. We're here as babies with nothing. Now, of course, things happen along the way. We could have been born in different demographics, but nevertheless, if you look around, the same opportunities surround you. It's just what you're focused on. This life is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I just stared at that wall when we got finished. I couldn't help but just want to just back up and just look at it and admire what we had done.
Yep.
I was fulfilled in that. Even though it wasn't right, I was fulfilled in that. When you build something, you feel good. Right? We've all been there. We need to start chasing after that feeling. We need to start right now and start focusing on the change that we're going to make in our life. So the change that we can take those old grudgy bushes out and we can put something else in to make it nice. Because once you get it nice, all of a sudden you can keep it.
That's right.
You can go out there and you can wash it. We can wash that wall. We can go out there and we can plant some little bushes and we can keep them trimmed down and we can keep it looking nice. There was nothing you could do with that but tear it up before. See, when you get there in your life, all of a sudden, it's not only something that you're proud of, but it's something that you can maintain. And you'll always have it. That wall ain't ever going anywhere. Unless somebody goes out there and tears it down. And that's going to be a lot of hard work. It's beautiful. When you build something, it's beautiful. When you start focusing on building something, it's beautiful. Because now, honestly, I don't know about anybody else, I'm so fired up about building that wall, I want to do something else.
Yep.
Because that's what it does. That's your motivation. That feeling you get is your motivation. That feeling you get that God gave you, that God intended you to have, is your motivation. That's what's going to push you forward. That's what's going to drive you. And see, whenever you keep that motivation and you do something and you have it because of something that you built with your own hands, now all of a sudden that motivation is going to drive you to do something else. And now when you do that, you're going to get that same feeling all over again. That's how you get fulfilled. We're talking natural, spiritual, all the way around, because that's what it is. It's every aspect of life. It's every aspect of life. When you take those things in your life that's ugly, that's dingy, that's the part that you really don't want nobody to see. I've been talking about that sign for a long time because it looked horrible. That's the first thing you see pulling into the church. That's what we represent. That looked horrible. See, there's things we don't want anybody to see. And when you can tear those things out and put something that's beautiful in its place and build something in its place, it's something to be proud of. It's something that you want people to see. You want everybody to see it. And you want everybody to see it for a reason, because, hey, you can do this too. You can have, I know what it felt like to have that showing in your life. I know what it felt like to have that hurt and that pain in your life. But guess what? I had that same stuff, and this is what it looked like, but this is what it looks like now. And this is what I had to do. I had to just get down and start laying bricks. It took a while, but this is what I got because of it. I say this all the time. The greatest thing my dad ever gave me, ever, was to teach me how to work.
Yeah.
Was the, hands down the greatest thing that I was ever given, by far. And that's why I was able to come out of what I was in. Because I knew that I could come out if only I put a little skin in the game. If only I got in there, I know I can do it. I just got to do it. I just got to get down, and it ain't going to feel good on my knees, and it's going to hurt my back, and those bricks are heavy, and I know, but all I got to do is just do it. It might take me all day. It might take me a year to get rid of this pain. But I just got to do it. It might take me 6 months to forgive this person and to move on with my life, but I just got to do it. And I got to just start somewhere, because if I don't ever start anywhere, then it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
And if I can just lay this first brick, and I can just, maybe today I'll lay this brick. But now I'm going to look outside and that brick is just laying there. And it's perfect. I laid it good. But now I got to come back and I got to do some more. Just start. Don't matter what it is. You just got to start. Lay one brick. Look at that brick. Just start. Take that step. Make that move. Make up your mind. I get it. We have all been through hell. I get it. Okay? But you don't have to live in it.
Right.
You don't have to stay there.
Go ahead.
You do not have to stay there. It is your choice that you're staying there.
That's right, yeah.
There's a way out.
Yes.
And the way out is you just got to start. Yeah, it's going to be hard. It's going to be tough. All that, but guess what? When you're done with it, it's fixed and it's there forever. And you got it. And it's all that stuff is just another tool in your bag, and with that tool you can work on your next project. You can build something great. Because the problem is, some people go through their whole life and they never build anything. And because they never even started, they never have anything. I think Abraham told Benjamin told him divide in the morning, or devour in the morning and divide in the evening. The quicker you get on this thing, the quicker you start to devour, you get in there and you work hard, then you can divide later. And what he was speaking on was talking about a young man. A young man, you get out and you work hard, and then when you get older, you can divide. You got it easy. The job is done. But see, the problem we're having is because we never get in and start to devour and start to work hard, when we get old, we have nothing to devour. And I'm not talking about age right here. This can start right now. It can start right now. And you can still have something to devour. But if you don't ever start, you're never going to get there. This life is too beautiful to miss. It's too beautiful to not have something to devour. It's too beautiful to carry all this hurt and this pain and this stuff, because really, this is what God wants for you. Is life. And life stands right on the cutting edge of truth. And when you can be truthful with yourself and say, you know what, I'm tired of them grungy bushes, and this Saturday we're ripping them out. I'm tired of looking at them. They're ugly. So this Saturday we're ripping those grungy bushes out, and we're going to bust our butt and build this wall. Because the thing is, in order to even start that wall, I spent half of Friday gathering the materials and getting everything ready in order to even start that wall. You got to put something in to get something out.
That's right.
Because if those bricks weren't sitting here whenever everybody got here in the morning, guess what would happen? Nobody would want to build the wall. Because they can't see the vision, because there ain't even no bricks here. Set your vision. Find your vision. Look forward. That's where your vision's at. It's not in looking back. It's looking forward. And when you start looking forward instead of looking at the past, the things behind you, and stop making excuses about why you are where you are. Oh, that's tough, ain't it? Let me say that again. Stop making excuses about why you are where you are, and look at it and say, yeah, okay, I'm here now, and that's where I'm going. You got to change your story. When you change your story, because my story used to be, well, I'm this way, and I am a drug addict. Notice I said I am. And I am a creator, so now all of a sudden I'm calling myself a drug addict, making myself a drug addict. But I say I am a drug addict because of what? Well, my dad did this. Or I'm a drug addict because my mom did this. Most of the time your story comes right behind I am. Right behind the creator. So you're calling the creator and creating your story. Therefore you're creating your life. But when I changed my story, I said, you know what? I let the sword of truth, because truth cuts asunder. I let it cut me, and it hurt. But I sat down with truth, and I said, you know what? This is why I am the way that I am. Is because I choose to be here. Because I choose not to move forward. Because I choose not to better myself. Because I know it's going to be hard. And because the truth is, I am lazy. I am being weak. But God said, I am strong.
Yes.
And God said that I am more than enough. And that I am confident. And that I am a winner and not a loser. You start calling yourself I am so you can see forward, because now you've changed your story. And now that you've changed your story, you can see forward. Therefore, you can see a destination. And if you can see a destination, I can get there. Dang, was there the whole time. I can get that. I can do that. I am capable of doing that. It's right there. So you lay that first brick. Then you lay that next brick. And then you lay the next one. You lay the next one. And before you know it, when you get to that destination, you'll see your next one. And before you know it, you can't even see your past anymore.
Amen.
He cast it as far as the east is from the west. I can't even see my past anymore. I can't even believe. It's like a completely different story to me. It's like a fairy tale to me now. I can't even believe the things that I used to do. I can't even remember half of the stuff I used to do.
That's right.
People come up, my old friends, hey, you remember this, this, and this? And I'm like,
No.
no, I don't. Why? Because when I changed my story, I started chasing after a vision.
Go ahead.
And I got so far away from the past that I couldn't see it anymore.
Yes, yes,
Amen.
But it all started when I laid that first brick.
yes.
We have an obligation. I'm not going to say to ourselves. You have an obligation to the people around you to be better than you are.
Yes, yes, yes.
I have an obligation to the people around me to better myself. Because I have something to give them, and because I'm not at my full potential and I'm not giving them what I should give them, that they're not prospering because of me. So take the story off of you. Because really it's the people around you that suffer. Because you're not at your full potential.
Yes.
When you get at your full potential, all of a sudden you're going to watch everybody around you change.
That's good.
It's more important than just building a wall for yourself. Because from now on, guess what? Anybody that drives by here can see that change. They can admire that that is good. And because they can admire that that is good, guess what? Maybe they might swing by and get something that's even better. All because of one small change. You've all heard me talk about it. That's why I wish I had my streamline. Because I want to show you. This is the center of this church, and we're aiming for the center of that door. I could come out 12 inches, pull over an inch, and move that string 1 inch here at 12 inches, and all of a sudden I'm 4 feet out. The small changes make the biggest difference.
Yes.
And maybe all you need to do, maybe you started your wall and maybe it's going slower than you thought to. Maybe you just need to make a small change in order to get back on track, because really it's that little change that's going to have the biggest effect on your life. And even if you got off track, guess what? That same small change will put you back on. That wall is not perfect. We made some small changes. But in those small changes, it equaled out in a big way to make that wall look good. We had to cut some bricks, and we had to stuff some in there where they didn't necessarily fit and make them work. But guess what? It put us back on track every time. Unfortunately, some people ain't going to get this. They're just not. They're just not going to get it. But to the ones who get it, your life will change more than you can ever imagine. And I'm talking about there is people in here that is not going to get this. But to the ones who get it, your life will change forever. Forever. Because mine has. And I've watched other people's change.
Yeah.
But it's because they started laying the bricks. That wall excites me. It does. I'm very excited for our new wall. And everybody else in here should enjoy that wall. You should.
Yeah.
To the guys who worked on it, thank you. Because the thing is, the guys who worked on it, they did it not for themselves.
Yeah.
They did it for everybody in here. That's what we're doing in our own life. You're not doing it for yourself. Those guys did not have to take their Saturday and come up here and work. They didn't have to do that. I'm talking about all day Saturday from 8 o'clock. I got home at 8. It was a long day. They did not have to do that, but they think farther than where they are now. And they understand that by thinking farther where we are now, that it's going to enhance somebody else's life in the future. That small change that we can make to the outside is going to have a big effect in the future. Because it's going to inspire people. People's going to see it and say, man, there's some change going on here. So we're all excited this morning because this is really good. This is nice outside. So now all of a sudden there's a different mindset. Because that's all we're really trying to change is the mind.
That's right.
Renew your mind daily.
That's right.
Change your mind. Stop walking this way and try this way. Cast on the right side of the ship.
Go
Ain't
ahead.
no fish from here over.
Yeah.
That's right.
Just throw your net that way.
Uh-huh.
Jesus told him to from this side of the ship to this side of the ship. They're fishing all day. Throwing nets all day.
Yes.
And Jesus is on the beach. Hey, throw it on the other side. The fish are on the other side. The other side. Throw it on the right side. They didn't know it was Jesus. Can you believe this? This guy been out here all day. Like from here over is the fish. Is that what you're telling me? The imaginary line in the water. It said they had to drag the nets back to the shore.
Yes.
After I believe it was Peter realized who it was, he jumped off, swam to shore. But they had to drag the nets back to the shore because they were so full. All because
Okay.
they changed their mind. That's all it takes. Life is too good not to change your mind. There's people that set in their ways and they never change their whole life. They continue to do the same stuff over and over and over, expecting a different result, which is what? Insanity. So guess what? They will continue to be insane. Having no clarity in life. Having no vision. Having no future. And then one day you wake up and you have nothing to divide. Nothing to give anybody. Nothing. I have nothing to give anybody. Better to give than to receive. So as long as we're takers of joy, takers of people's peace, thieves of people's life, all because of we don't want to lay this first brick, we'll have nothing to divide. When you're just laying that brick, starting that wall, now you have something. Life is beautiful. It is. And it's good. It's really good, actually. I mean, it's really good. It's really good to know that I can have everything that He has to give me right now.
Yeah.
Like right now. Because the kingdom of God is at hand. So right now I have His inheritance for me. Right now I can have it. All I got to do is lay that brick. That's beautiful. So, I love you guys.